Okay, I just left the house, 1:30 p.m. Let the pinball adventures begin. I'm Mike Dimas, and this is Pinball Shenanigans. First stop, I need gas. $1.65 a liter. That's darn near 70 bucks. Okay, next stop is Skyview Pools because Corey Cook dropped off a board there for Jay the neighbor yesterday so he could bring it home and give it to me, but guess what? He forgot it at work. So we're gonna go bombard him at work and grab this board, which is for John Charest. All right, here's Skyview Pool and Spa, Jay the neighbor's work. Let's just go see if we can find him. I'd like to speak with the manager, please. I hear you have a part for me. Hard at work. Look at him go. Never seen him work this hard in my life. Is it a future spa board?
Future spa.
Oh yeah.
Let's put the future spa in the spa.
Let's do that. Future spa lamp driver board in the spa here at Skyview Pools.
Look at that.
There you go. Ain't that something?
Doesn't get any futuristic than that.
Okay, so Corey gave that board to give to Jay, to give to me, to give to John, who I will see at Maple Pinball tomorrow. So that mission is almost accomplished. Next stop, Kevin Grazley. We're gonna go to the Grazley garage. I gotta drop off these very sexy apron cards from Johnny G for Kevin, well, Dutch's Roadshow, and some cabinet protectors, probably for Bonsai Run because powder coating could possibly come in today, so that will be very exciting to see. All right, there he is, Mr. Grazley himself. I found him up on the roof, tearing apart some shingles and some wood and whatnot, but here you go, brother. I got your goods. Well, Dutch's goods, actually. Yeah, and your cabinet protectors for bonsai, possibly. So you might be getting some powder coating today if Sam calls you.
Fingers crossed.
All right, well,
That'll be for Johnny, so.
I'll be away for the weekend. When I get back, hopefully there will be some powder coating action. Oh yeah. All right, you're not getting the full Grazley Garage episode, but, well, not yet, but here is a teaser for things to come. Oh yeah. All right, next stop, Toronto, Ontario. I've got my passenger with me, Alice. Are you ready to rock and roll? You all buckled in? All right, well, let's go. Actually, first, let's get a large Diet Coke. Okay, it is 3:08. I've been driving from McDonald's for about 10 minutes. I just hit the 401, the good old 401, and I am doing 30 kilometers an hour. Oh yeah. So, the point of today's adventure, other than just having pinball fun, is a visit to Mike Hanley. Now, I've discussed why in previous episodes, but for those who have not seen the previous episodes, I will explain what is going on. I have been wheeling and dealing with Mike Hanley. I posted a countdown for sale. He said he wanted it. He also saw that I picked up a Wonderland wood rail 1955 electromechanical machine, and he said he's been on the hunt for one of those and wanted my Wonderland. I was gonna hang on to the Wonderland for a while and try and fix it up and get it working, but I had Corey Cook come over and the score motors kind of pooch, so I decided to move on to bigger and better things. So I am bringing Wonderland and Countdown to Mike Hanley, and in exchange he is giving me some cash and a project Countdown. But Greg Walker, a dude from Ottawa, was looking for a project Countdown and asked if I would trade a Countdown, my Countdown, for a Meteor. And I said, well, I traded it to Hanley, but I'm getting a Countdown from Hanley, so basically I am trading Mike Hanley's Countdown for Greg Walker's Meteor. But the good thing is that those two have already met and exchanged those machines, because I think they had some other wheelings and dealings going on as well. and saves me an 8-hour trip to Ottawa. So my Meteor is already at Mike Hanley's. So I'm dropping these two machines off, picking up a Meteor. And if Mike is up for some action, maybe do a little tour of what he's got over there. I know he's got a couple bowling lanes that he just installed, so he said he'll show me those at the very least and maybe see what other shenanigans he's up to. On a side note, I was listening to the Pinball Nerds podcast on the Poor Man's Pinball Network, which is one of my favorite podcasts. I was listening to it last night, and it was titled The 88 Most Influential Pinball People in Albert's Life kind of thing. And lo and behold, guess who was chronologically number 1? Yours truly. So that was pretty cool. Got the shout out from Albert. And yeah, so check out that podcast. It's one of my favorite. It's on the Poor Man's Pinball Network, like I said. Pinball Nerds, Albert Agar. Used to live in London, Ontario. We were playing in the London, Ontario Pinball League together back in the day. And yeah, so chronologically number 1. Oh, yeah. Okay, I've been driving forever. There's been slowdowns, crashes, traffic jams, and even a downpour. But I am about 15 minutes away, almost there, and despite all of that, I'm going to be on time, so I will see you shortly. All right, I made it to Mike Hanley's place.
And it started to rain.
Of course it started to rain. Okay, I've never been here before.
Okay. So
Love the carpet.
I guess you met me at Maple the last time we were trading.
Yeah, I've seen you at Maple was the last time, but it might have been, the last time I seen you was at the Wasaga show.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So the place is a mess. It's not done. It was kind of done, and then it's gone up into upheaval again. So I'll give you the quick 50-cent tour.
Yeah, please do.
So this is the new Church of the Silver Ball. Much smaller than the old Church of the Silver Ball, where I had 3,000 square feet, and I've got, 900 here.
Side note, I love the pop bumper cap ornament in the ceiling.
The Scarborough Music Festival contacted us years ago and said they wanted to do Tommy, and asked if they could borrow an old pinball just for a decoration.
Right.
So I had an old Lancers that was beat to crap. It worked, but just terrible game. I think who ended up getting it, I can't remember who got it, but somebody got it and told me at the Wasaga show that they got it up and running recently. But anyways, they made these pop bumpers, and the girls danced on them in the play.
Oh, no way.
So they made some flippers, giant flippers, which are about this tall, and these. And then after the play was done, they said, "You want them?" So we had them in the old church hanging from the roof. So I've hung them up, and you can barely see it, but I put train track around the perimeter.
Oh,
so
you did. Look
Thomas
at
the
that.
Tank Engine goes around the outside. And,
oh, that's hilarious.
well, it's just goofy, but it fits in with all the other goofy shit that's going on here. So I had 13 games in here. I had a row of games down here, and a row of games on the other side, past the scaffolding. And it was mostly wedge heads on that side and WPC games on this side, the Popadiuk games.
Right.
And they've all come and gone and, long past. But I had a ball bowler set up along the wall. And I sold it off to some guy in the States and set another one up. Got it running. Sold that one to Corey. Actually, it was kind of running. He still had to do a bit of work on it. It was
Corey Cook of London Pinball.
50% running probably when he got it.
Right.
And then I discovered this YouTube channel called Garage Bowling Alley. Sunday nights around 6 o'clock. He's out of Texas. This guy has a 3-car garage, and he's put like a 25-foot bowling lane in with a real Brunswick A2 pin setter. Oh my God, it just blew
It sounds
my
like some bowling shenanigans.
And, they have a little group of people that come over and they roll the ball down and score it, just like they've got automatic scoring on a laptop. And it's just awesome. And I started thinking, what is more electromechanical than a pin setter? I mean, this is the ultimate EM toy.
This is true.
So I thought, well, if I took the games out and moved them all forward, instead of 3 feet away from the wall, if I moved them 6 feet away from the wall, I'm going to lose my aisleway. It's going to be a very narrow aisle, but I'll still get 2 rows of games in, and I'll have a bowling lane over there.
Oh, really?
So
so we all knew you were big into pinball, but this whole bowling obsession is new to me.
I was into bowling long before that.
Oh, yeah.
Back in the 80s, when I was like 18, I was the color commentator on a Rogers cable TV channel for 3 years. We did a youth bowling challenge, and I did the color commentary.
Oh, what do you know?
Just a hoot. So there's the framework that started for the bowling lane.
Can I sort of finagle my way in there?
Finagle your way over.
Okay.
So we've got the wood, and I got to keep doing that. I've got to put L brackets in all the corners to keep it square, because you can see it's kind of leaning.
Yeah,
And then back in the wintertime, we went to Welland one day with about 5 friends to a bowling center shut down, and with some saws, and cut out approach and lanes. So I've got those stashed in the neighbor's garage right now. So I've got pin decks, the lanes, and the ball return, and a really nice old 1950s wood ball return to go in. So that's going to go along that wall there.
Okay.
And, I managed to find a piece of lane from Plantation Bowlerama, where I first started bowling when I was a kid in Etobicoke. So it's kind of cool that chunk of the lane is going to be
a piece of your childhood.
And well, I might as well show you this too. This
Please
is a
do.
piece. That's a piece of the gutter.
Literal piece.
I literally just hacked a piece off just so I could figure out the dimensions of it for when we build the frame, how wide we need to make the frame.
Right.
This is a gutter from Plantation Bowlerama, and I can guarantee you I threw a ball in that gutter at some point as a kid, because I hit all the gutters when I was a kid.
Oh yeah, we all did.
That's a guarantee. So the 2 bumpers are going to have trains on it, and then you'll notice that there's a shelf that right now is just...
It's a work in progress.
Yeah, the shelf's full of crap at the moment, just to get it out of the way. That's a train shelf.
Okay.
So originally there was going to be like 2 or 3 trains going there in just concentric circles.
Right.
Then I started thinking, well, I could put a track down the middle, a board down the middle, and split it into 2 halves. So there's going to be 1 track. The very back one's going to go all the way around the perimeter.
Okay.
And then there's going to be 5 on each side that just stay on their half and go around and round and round.
Oh, train shenanigans as well, eh?
There'll be 11 trains running at the same time.
Oh my
plus
God.
2 on the bumpers.
That's pretty freaking cool.
So
And this is a piece of a bowling lane too.
that's called a masking unit, and that actually, it's got a pindicator on it, and you can
Pindicator?
Pindicator. It's hard to tell, but I'll shine my light behind
Oh
it.
yeah, I can kind of
So
see.
the pins light up, right? When you knock them down, they're supposed to light up. Numbers, right?
Oh yeah, there we go. Number 3.
So I'm working on a project with a Raspberry Pi just to have some LEDs in
Oh,
there
that's fun.
to light that up.
Okay, well, this is really cool. I think we should briefly discuss that you're obviously got a big history into pinball. How long you been into pinball for?
Since I started playing in 72. I
Okay.
got my first game in 78 when I was 13, so 45 years.
Okay, it's,
Yeah,
almost
40
half a century.
Jesus, oh,
And you're immortalized in a couple pinball machines too.
thank you, that's cool, yes.
That is pretty cool. Like, I don't know if people know this, but you are actually the goalkeeper in World Cup soccer.
You can bash me in the face. Of course, I'm far more muscular in real life than that guy is. But,
And you're in another machine or two, aren't you?
Circus Voltaire, there's a couple things. One on the back glass in the bottom corner and on the playfield, but there's also an Easter egg for any Circus Voltaire owners.
Yeah, listen to this.
In attract mode, hit both buttons, both flipper buttons, then hit the left 7 times, the right 11 times, and then both again. Doesn't work every time. Sometimes you got to do it 5 times before it'll kick in.
I was wondering why it sometimes didn't work. That was just the way it is.
I don't know. I don't know if it's a bug in it or if that's intentional.
Right. But that's for like the 7-Eleven variety store, right? Because that's a Canadian thing, I guess.
I don't think it is. I think
Is it?
7-Eleven's American. I just think that was the code that Cameron Silver picked.
Oh, I thought it was on purpose that it was 7-Eleven, but I guess it is, but not for the reasons I thought.
But there are some Canadian references in there. All the people that come up are Canadian, and Tim Hortons is in there as well. So.
Oh, actually, I ended up with your old Circus Voltaire, traded it for Ghostbusters LE, and when I got it home, you were telling me about the little Easter eggs, and I did the secret code. So you have to do it on your own Circus Voltaire when you find one on location if you don't have one, and do that code, and you'll see what happens. But yeah, some cool Canadian references in there.
Yeah, my kids have done it all around the world. Like
that's so cool.
We did it in England once. We did it down in Florida a couple times, so they love that.
Immortalized in 2 different pinball machines, so that's pretty freaking sweet.
Yeah, that was cool.
And the other deal we did too, the Batman 66. Wait, no, we didn't end up doing that deal.
No,
I was gonna buy yours.
That's right. You ended up getting one just before, a better deal.
I bought one locally, like 5 minutes from me, but then you ended up trading your premium for this Catwoman edition.
I had an LE, and I traded it for a premium and some cash, and then I traded the premium for the Catwoman edition from Shane at
Oh,
Maple.
that's right.
And
Yes.
this was originally mine, and I'd sold it to Shane because when
Oh my God,
I'm a
that's
huge Batman fan, right? Batman '66.
Yeah.
So when they announced that they were doing a Catwoman edition, I just called Jerry up and said, "Get me one."
Yep.
Thinking that it would be different,
Right.
and then it shows up, and I realize it's the same, just a little
Just
different
a little
artwork.
bit different art.
I don't have room for 2 of the same game in here. You only got
Yeah.
13 games, so
Yeah, it's amazing that you fit as much as you can in this space. But I see that it's a work in progress, but I can see the potential for it, and it's a really fun looking space. You got the lighting, you got the floor,
So
you got
this-
the bowling alley.
this is for the train table to be extended across the middle with those
Okay.
other tall pieces.
Yeah.
And then I've got some foam over there in the neighbor's garage. I got some other thicknesses of foam. We're going to build up 5 levels for the different trains to run on.
Wow.
So then the train stuff will be done. And then at that, before I do the train stuff though, I got the scaffold here because I've got probably 60 posters, Pinball, The Who, that kind of stuff. Stick on the roof. We're just going to cover
Oh, yeah.
all the roof surface.
Nice. You've collected a lot of things in your half a century
Well,
of being in the industry.
In the old church, I had room for shit. So,
Yeah, right.
Anything
Good.
came along. I have a rock poster. Premier didn't do a lot of promotional stuff, but they did a
Oh.
poster for rock. I don't know if I even still have it. I had Demo Man and what else? No Good Gophers, Medieval Madness. Some of those posters, which are tough to get. I might have a couple of them left, but not a lot.
Yeah, your square footage has shrunk a little bit since the Church of the Silver Ball to now.
Zizzles.
Yeah.
So we have.
Pirates of the Caribbean, Zizzle.
We got a Pirates there. There's a Marvel there.
Oh, I
I think
didn't-
that's a prototype with different artwork on it, and you'll notice it's got a real flipper mech in it.
Oh, yeah?
That was just something Popadiuk was farting around with.
Oh, really? That was a John Popadiuk thing.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
He built the Zizzles.
I don't know if some people know, but you've been friends with Popadiuk for many a years as well,
I
right?
haven't seen him since he went to Texas. He kind of disappeared after Deep Root.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
And
Do you talk to him like every once in a while, or
I
is he
try.
kind of off the radar?
I'm still talking to one of his daughters.
Oh, yeah?
One of my goddaughters. I was talking to her yesterday. I don't know what he's doing at this point in time. He's disappeared, but
But there's a tie-in to the Wonderland machine that you're getting off me today. You said you and Popadiuk were looking for one or something
Okay,
like that?
So originally, he and I built Alice in Wonderland out of an F-14.
Yes, I have a little bit of footage on
You
that,
did
so you're
the
going to have to Google that. Just type in Alice in Wonderland prototype or something, Mike Hanley, and you'll find that video.
So go watch that, and you'll see all about the machine. And it needs an MPU now, and it's in storage. It'll show up here at some point.
The OG prototype.
The OG prototype. And after we finished the game, and he'd moved to Chicago, I made a deal to buy a Bally Turf King and a Captain Fantastic home game off of a guy who lived about 10 minutes from him. And so next time I was in Chicago, him and I jumped in the car and drove over to this guy's house. His name was Mike Knudsen. And Mike Knudsen had a nice collection of games in his basement. And one of them was a Williams Wonderland. And it was like brand new.
Oh, yeah?
And having just built
That would've been pretty.
Alice,
Right?
John freaked over it. and
Oh, yeah,
said,
of course.
How much? And he bought it off him. We lugged that home too.
Uh-huh.
And he had it for about, I'm going to say 10 years. And then Mike Knudsen called him up and said, any chance you want to sell it back? And John said, okay.
Yeah,
'Cause
let
he's
him have
good
it
like
back.
that. So he sold
Yeah.
it back to him for the same price.
He had his
which
fun
was-
with it.
And that guy then retired and moved to Boston, I believe. So the game's in the Boston area right now,
Okay.
as far as I know. And I have looked for a Wonderland for years,
Mm-hmm.
and I've seen a couple go by me at Allentown that were sold already. And
Oh,
say,
that's it. Yeah.
5 minutes too late. Or,
Yeah.
I was 5 feet too late one time because
Oh,
there was
geez.
one on a truck with a price tag on it, and as I'm hightailing it over there, a guy steps over and goes, "I'll take it."
Oh, sniped
Yeah,
big time.
in real time, in measured in feet.
Right.
So I'm really excited to see this Wonderland.
Okay, cool.
You said it's got a bad score motor?
Bad scooter more. I bet you probably have one of those hiding around somewhere.
Maybe in storage. I might have one.
Yeah, okay.
If not, it'll go to Steve Young.
Yep, Steve Young can fix it apparently.
the
So,
man.
well, I might as well bust out your 2 machines if it ever stops friggin' raining. But I got them in there. I had the head. It didn't really fit in the back, so it's my passenger right now. It's buckled in with the seatbelt and everything.
I've done that before.
I call it Alice. And yeah, so if it ever stops raining, we can do our exchange. Where is the Meteor?
It's in the Santa Fe.
In your vehicle. Okay.
I didn't know
So
that.
we got to do a swap somehow without getting completely soaked. So yeah, wish us luck. And well, thanks for the tour of the action.
50-cent tour.
Yep, 50 cents. We're just having a look at this Meteor here. Hanley was toying with the idea of trading his meteor for this meteor, which is kind of funny how there's been 2 countdowns and potentially 2 meteors in the equation.
Yes.
But yeah, it is looking in good shape. Someone changed the pop bumper
The body.
cap, body on that, missing the cap. But the playfield is nice, and that's what is kind of desirable to you for the potential swappage. Here's the back glass. Looks pretty good. Oh, LED'd back box, so that's actually a bit of a bonus. And then can't really see, but it's original boards. I'm getting wet. And I see a repin connector, at least one. And what about the guts here? Any other repin connectors or anything? But it's been in your vehicle, you can just feel the heat coming out of the body and the head. I wonder if this playfield is LED'd as well, but yeah, well, there's the meteor. All right, so mission accomplished. I got my meteor, and the exchange with Hanley went well, and he even sent me home with this really cool full sheet. It's a big, like, I don't know, maybe not quite 4x8, but 3x7-ish sheet of plastic that has 2 uncut sets of Apollo 13 plastics on it. So that's pretty friggin' sweet. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with it yet. Make a good wall hanger. But yeah, so that is pretty friggin' sweet. So now, next stop is Maple Pinball, and I'm gonna play in the weekly tournament. So that's probably it for this episode. Wish me luck, and see you guys on the next one.